always something. Hello, everyone. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug, and you have just joined me on the Business Plugs mixer. I get all into the intro that comes on, and I'm just dancing and cutting a jig, and then I'm mashing buttons, and nothing's happening. So please, there's a bit of a whatever that is in there. But today, I am so happy to have my guest. You're going to meet my sweet friend, Dr. Carrie Graham. She's going to tell you about a new book she has coming out. The Business Plus Mixer is about business conversations with business people for business people. And this is no different. Today, you're going to learn about Dr. Graham, and you're going to understand why I love her so. She is so sweet. And Dr. Graham, I wore my earrings that she is just the sweetest thing you ever want to see. And so you're going to meet her. But before I bring her on, I want to tell you about Saturday, August 29th at 12 o'clock Eastern. I am hosting an event for women 50 and 60s, women in their 50s and 60s, to find your life. It is to support you in building your best life from scratch. And so I've joined 5 other ladies, and we are doing it on Eventbrite. It's a free event. And so you can go on any of my pages on social media, and you'll see the ladies, and you'll also see what they're bringing. But this is to help you have a well-rounded life if you are in your 50s or in your 60s, and you're looking for what is my next. If your question is, what is my next? What happens next? I'm an empty nester. My kids are grown. They're finishing college. I've done the family. I've done everybody. What is next for me? And that's what it's about. So I'm supposed to tell you about that. Also, if you would like to be on the Business Plugs Mixer, you're welcome to join me here to talk about what you do, how you do it, and who should be looking for you. And with that said and done, I think I'm out of trouble with my team. So I would like you, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my friend to my stage, Dr. Carrie Graham. Hey there, Dr. Carrie Graham. How are you?
Hi. Well, thank you so much for having me. So you're the sweetest. You're the sweetest. And give your viewers a
Well, you
little
are too.
your earrings. Oh, they're
Ooh, I have so many compliments on these today. So many compliments. And I said,
wonderful.
they are symbolic. They're not just earrings, but they have symbolism. And I love it because she thought about me when she made this circle. And I don't know if you can see it on there or not, but the circle and then the straight line. I love them. And thank you so much. I think about you every time I see them and every time I wear them.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But thank you so much for having me today. I am looking forward to our conversation, and I love that you have you're having an experience, an event for women over 50, because I'm in that club. And even though, you're doing our work, I think we all, just human nature, are often thinking of, well, what is next for me? So I'm so
Is it?
delighted you're doing
I have had great response to that, to the ticket sales, because in my mind's eye, I imagined 25 women, 5 in a room, very simple, very whatever. And then they start coming, and they are still coming. And then people are getting more tickets. And I'm like, okay, this is going from 25 to 50. Oh, wait a minute. But I'm blessed, and the women are looking forward to it. And we decided to just move it around. And so that is what we're going to be doing. And you hear my Alexa telling me about my next appointment because he is on it. His name is Echo, and he thinks that he runs the show around here, and most times he does, but we don't tell him that. but so I'm looking forward to Saturday. But before we get there, tell us about this book, honey, that came out in July.
Oh, yes. Okay, let me just share a picture. So this might not, people might not be able to see it, but this is what you want to look for. It's what you want to look for. It's called When Operations Meet People, Bridging the Gap Between Systems, Leadership, and Performance. My first book, my first
I
published.
love that. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I didn't even give you the opportunity to introduce yourself. So please tell my audience, who is Dr. Carrie Graham?
You know, I often think about who am I really? And so aside from a 50 something year old that eats homemade chocolate chip cookies for dinner, I'm here to support businesses improve their leadership development and training development programs. So if you are in need of that to elevate your work as an executive, let's talk. I'm Dr. Carrie Graham, and I'm pleased and honored to be able to help you.
I love that. I love that. And so, how did we come upon this topic, ma'am?
Honestly, so I, it really started 6 years ago when I was started my consulting business full time. And I would have clients and they would say, well, as we're working together, I identified actually that they needed a resource. And so I would build out an outline for them, or I'd build out some resources to help guide in improving and scaling their programs. And what I found sometime around 9 months ago, I realized I have all of these resources that I have built. So they're all my intellectual property,
Mhm.
but I'm not using them, right? Because I firmly believe in customizing the work that I do for my clients. And I thought they can't just sit here and die, right? Like
Mm,
there is life in them. And so as I was reflecting and reflecting, I thought, how can I pull this together? What is actually here? And so I finally, side note, I have finally bought into AI as a tool. And so my buddy Claude helped me. And I said, pull out all of the themes. Like I need to know, what have I done, right? I know what have done, but I need somewhat of an objective perspective. And Claude gave me an outline and I sat with that. And that's when it clicked. I've created all of these resources early on, and my client base now are the executives.
mm,
How can I provide a group of executives that I may not know personally and what the context of their work environment is? How can I still provide them with some of the insight? And that's when I started writing.
mm. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
But, yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
what
And
are
so,
some of the pain points? What are
I'm
some of the
sorry.
pain points? What are some of the
Yeah.
pain points you've seen that would
Yeah.
that would would be the perfect answer to?
Yeah. So my clients have always been executives in some form or fashion. They are the CEO, the president, they are a VP, a founder, the executive director, and they're all governed by another body outside of the founder. They're all governed by board of trustees, board of directors, and such. But these individuals are highly ambitious, skilled, their level of intelligence is off the charts, but they're missing an element. They're
Mm,
missing an element. They do the work. Sometimes they lose sight of their vision for their
mhm,
organization. Sometimes they're caught up in trying to be managed and
mhm,
supervised by that board, but yet they have a direction, that a vision that they want to go in. And so I use their stories in the book to demonstrate there are key elements when you sit in a leadership position that you need to be thinking about that influence the operations and the people that work for you. It's not a people problem that you have. It's not an operations problem that you have. It's actually a leadership issue that you need guidance to see through.
mm. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing because a lot of times you have founders, you have that executive person who may or may not be the founder, but who
Mhm.
also are being directed or have constraints or have goals and objectives that they must fulfill that are
Yeah.
outside of what they plan to do, right?
Right.
Like they have in their mind, okay, I'm going to get in this job, I'm going to do this work, I'm going to do A, B, and C, and D. And then you have these
Mhm.
governing entities that say, no, we want you to do F, R, P, Q, and T.
Right.
And so
Right.
you're helping them find balance in all of that.
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, the response, you know, when you put things out into the world, and I've published research articles in the past, and you know, people use them, but when you put something out into the world, you really don't know. The truth of the matter is you don't know how it will be received. And I have to say, the feedback that I've gotten, the posts, honestly, the LinkedIn posts that people, I did not ask them to make, but that people have posted about the book and the content, it really illustrates to me that the challenge really sits in the leadership seat, and people
Mm,
are struggling. They really have good intentions, and they want their business operations to be seamless. They want their people in their organization to do well, but it's the emotion piece of it that gets
mm,
in the way. And so when those two things meet, operations and people, there's often some level of clashing. And
mm.
it's easier to point the finger at those things than to sit with the hard reality, exactly to what you're saying, Linda. I have a vision. I'm an executive in this organization, and I have a vision, but the constraints of the organization or the higher level of leadership, it's challenging me to do that. And so I simply pose questions in the book. Let's think
Mm,
about this. Let's think about this, because everyone's next step is their own next step. I can't
mm,
dictate it. No one can tell you what your next step should be, because that's your reality. And so
mm.
I truly believe that God has positioned me to simply guide people through that process.
I love that. I love that. So I'm taking my team through the 7 habits of highly effective people right now. And so
Love it.
we're in week 2. And week 2 talks about, beginning with the end in mind, which is my favorite of the 7.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
even in what you're saying, a lot of times you begin with the end in mind. Like you know where you want to go, but it can be
Right.
quite difficult to get there.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So what I'm
Can
hearing
I
you say is you hold on and help guide them to the end. Like if they know where they're
ab
going, you help them
Mhm.
find out how to get there.
Yeah, and it's not only how to get there, but it's peeling back the layers to say the thing that you think will get you there isn't the thing that's gonna get you there. You
Mm,
actually have to let go of that or surrender that,
mm,
and shift your gaze on the real thing that will get you there. But I
mm.
wanna you mentioned, Covey's 7 Habits, and I have if I may, I have a quick story that
Okay.
I wanna share about that. So when I was in undergrad, I took a business course, and Covey's 7 Habits was a book we had to read. And like most college students, I did not read the book. I flipped through, I did what I needed to, like that's the reality. I did what I needed to do to get, and I graduated, packed that book up. I moved to my second job, my second job, unpacked a box. There's the book. I flipped through, I'm like, huh, oh, that's a good lesson. I see I underlined something here. You know, that's lovely. And it was helpful. I packed it back up. And in my position, I was asked to teach a leadership development course to students. And when I tell you the one book that I said has got to be in this curriculum is Covey's 7 Habits. And the reason is it stood the test of time for me. And
Does.
I'm sure if I found one of the books now, I know what the 7 habits are, but if I dug deep and just found one line, I'm convinced I'd be like, "Oh, yep, that speaks to where I am today." So,
Yeah.
don't get rid of all your books. Don't get rid of all your books.
Yeah, I know, and right, exactly, because I'm bringing like these are people very much younger than I am, but I'm
Mhm.
bringing them along because, like you said, it stands the test of time. And here I
Mhm.
am, some 20, 30 years later, still using
Yep.
the 7 habits, like still implementing and teaching young people about the 7 habits because they're
Yeah.
still effective. And there's an eighth habit, right? Going from
Yep.
effectiveness to greatness. And so I'm
Yep.
even for myself, I'm even, going through the eighth habit. But I,
Yeah.
I think that's the thing is there's not a lot of practical tools that are
Mhm.
relative to where leaders' mindsets are today.
No. No, you're right. And I do talk about that early on. I talk about, making that connection to Covey's habits as we're discussing it. I do ask the question, do you understand what your vision and your mission are? And what
Mm,
are they? And particularly for founders, right? When you are creating a business, you're simply head down doing the work. And
yeah.
it's easy to overlook, no, 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 it has got to get out of my head
Mm,
because if I'm frustrated with the people I hired, why they're not buying in, why they're not doing what I want them to do, well, do they know what your vision and your mission are? And if
yeah.
they don't, that's half of the issue. Like you got to have people buy in. And so it's interesting that we're talking about Covey's work.
But yeah, I mean that's where I am right now. And I'm trying because what I see and what I listen to when I'm talking to other leaders and I'm talking to other business owners and the people who are decision makers. And I think we have to go back and grab a step because we automatically assume that people are where they aren't.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what I've seen over and over again. Like I'm teaching people who've owned businesses for 10, 12, 15 years how to
Mhm.
go back and educate, re-educate their staff, how to create
Yeah.
SOPs, how to slow down long enough so that they don't run off and leave the team.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. One of the I was observing a an executive director of over $1 million project, and this is someone who had been incredibly successful in their over their professional life, and they were in this new role. And I watched how they interacted with their team, and I thought, what, as a leader, the skills that you developed in one organization, it does not automatically transition into the other organization because the culture is different.
Very different.
And, the way in which this individual spoke to their team, I just thought, they haven't been trained. They have not been trained. And so often, large organizations in particular will hire someone, based on their resume, which they should, and their experience, which they should, but that should not be where it stops.
Mm,
You have an obligation to train anyone that comes into your organization, regardless of their title, regardless how high on the organizational chart they sit. They have got to understand the culture within that organization and
mm.
how to communicate within that organization. There were a couple moments I was actually appalled at what I was seeing. But nevertheless.
Mm. And that's interesting. And that's the thing, especially when you're trying to change culture, right? Because
Yes,
I have a
yes.
new business owner I'm talking to, not new business owner, but someone who's rebranding their business.
Mhm, mhm,
And we were
mhm,
talking, and she was like, "Well, I have done this all by myself, so now it's time to do it with a team. So now I'm getting ready to hire the team for the first time." And she said, "I am
mhm,
great at doing things and telling other businesses how to work and how to do the things. But for myself, I am
mhm.
skeptical of how great of a leader or lack of leadership I will have when I have to deal with other people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not easy, but I will say, and then the work that I've done with leaders, those individuals that are firmly grounded. And when I say that, I don't mean based in their faith or, well, that is an element. Let me rewind that part. But when they're grounded in who they are,
Mm,
what their skill set is, what their strengths are, and
mm,
where they need additional growth.
mm,
Those individuals, when they are crystal clear on that, I have found that those individuals are better at leading other people than
mm.
those individuals who believe, well, I've been doing this for so many years, I got this.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's a level, I think it's that level of being vulnerable where you say, yeah, I know how to do these things, but where you're quick to extend grace, you're
Mm,
willing to choose your words wisely as you're working to communicate, conflict resolution. You recognize, okay, there is something here, I need to address it, but I'm going to do it to the absolute best of my ability. Those make effective leaders.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. And
Mhm.
because things have changed, like so many so many things have changed since I last worked in corporate. So many things have changed.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
understanding the changes now. Because there was a time, so I've been doing what I do um for years and years and years and years, right? And
Mhm.
like 40 plus years I've been doing what I do. And there used to be a standard of business. And that standard, it didn't matter where you went. It was in every organization. You could move from this one to this one, and everything was the same because it was a standard of business. That's what people did.
Right,
And
right.
that is no longer the case. That is no longer,
No.
there's no standard right now. I think COVID may have shifted some things because like things that I thought were standard business practices are no longer
Mhm.
applicable in today's business society.
Right, right, right. I agree. I agree. It's really, there's a lot to be said for the people. My sister is significantly younger than I am, and she has a very different background in terms of career path than I do. And she and her husband opened a restaurant in
Mhm.
Jersey City. And she said, yeah, we're hiring a lot of young people. And I'm like, really? And we were out to dinner one time, and we just asked, like, how's it going? You guys just opened this restaurant. You've got only 16 to 20-year-olds working for you.
Mhm.
How is it going? And she said, there is a level of parenting, like in terms of not so much as how to do the work, because they're excellent workers, but like life, right? Like that personal life piece.
Balancing,
She
right, 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 right. The balance.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, the balance. She was saying like her and her husband seem to be like they have those conversations quite a bit, but she said, they're
Mhm.
incredible workers. And when I went to their restaurant, I was impressed. I'm like, man, the service is top notch. And so again, thinking about our conversation, it's really, as a leader, the approach that you're taking. You people want to work, they need to work. I want to believe good in others that they're going to do what they're supposed to do, but it's all in how you lead them.
Yeah. Yeah. And it takes a new skill set
Yeah.
when to foster, like people are all over the place now. They're all over the place as far as the employees. Like, and I'm grabbing this from people who have various teams and they're doing all
Yeah.
the different things. And like I said, there used to be a standard. And so it
Yes.
didn't matter if they were in your field and they had worked at this company A, when they come to you in company B, there was a level of skill set based on where they had been that you could say,
Yep.
okay, they worked over there. So they coming to me. I already know they know A, B, and C. I just need to
Yep.
teach them C and D.
Yep.
Well, no, not now. Not now. The best thing you can do for yourself and for your sanity is to pull it all back and start with A.
Yep. Yep. You do. Well, Linda, you have to start with A, but A cannot live in your head. And
Yeah,
that's my
yeah.
focus, right?
Mhm.
A cannot live in your head, neither can B, C, D, X, Y,
Yeah,
Z.
yeah,
You have got to get it all out of your head and start
yes.
sharing it with your teams.
Yes, yes, yes. I love empowering people to be thinkers and
Yeah.
to like, I don't mind people showing me a problem because a problem is a problem. And I love that they make me aware of it, but I don't want to be the type of person where I am the garbage can. So all the problems come to me. You know, I want
Yeah.
people who can think. And when they think, okay, this is the issue. And I was thinking about it, we could probably resolve it doing C, D, and E,
Mhm.
right? Like
Mhm.
come with a bag of applying your knowledge or what you think as opposed
Yeah.
to making me the garbage can.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
but I empower people to do that. Even the businesses, when they're talking about their issues and stuff, and I'm like, well, what do you think about it? Or
Yeah.
have you given it any thought?
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, I don't know all the answers.
Yeah. 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 But
I may, it may
Linda,
appear.
there's the there's the other extreme of that, right? So it's the being the garbage can and dumping everything, or it's the, well, we didn't want to tell you. We
Oh yes.
didn't, we didn't. And to that, my question, because like you, I pull back in that instance, and then I have another question. And my question is, well, what culture have you created that people don't want to share with you what a problem is? And like you mentioned, and also bring a solution, because both extremes, they're just not good.
Absolutely.
They're not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's recognizing them for what they are.
Yes.
Recognizing them from
Yeah.
what they are. And then understanding that we all have experience and our experiences are different. And
Mhm.
the having a place where everybody meets at the same place
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
all opinions count,
Yes.
whether they're enacted or not, they still count.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
having that space.
Yeah, and they matter at different points, right? So it
Mhm.
may be that this time it's person A's perspective or suggestion is the one we move on. The next time it might be person B.
Right.
But to your point, they all matter. They all matter.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because your experience is your experience, and good, better, and different, it still was your experience.
Yes.
So yeah, no, you
Yes.
didn't have that. That didn't happen to you. You didn't feel like that. Yeah, you can. It's okay to feel like that. If
Right.
that's your
Right.
reality, that's your reality, and we deal with it
Mhm.
from there. So somebody
Mhm.
watching this, what one or two things would you like them to take away from this conversation?
Yeah, outside of buying the book, I would say, I want people to walk away recognizing that there is a better way.
Yeah.
And I'm using my words very carefully and not simply saying there's a different way, because
Mm,
different doesn't always mean better or effective. But there
mm,
is a better way, and the better is framed around effective. And so if you are an effective communicator, you're doing good. If
yeah.
you are an effective leader in terms of showing people the path, that's what people remember. If you're an effective mentor, you are changing lives. And so it's this, I want people to listen to this conversation and give consideration to there's always a better way.
I love it.
Always,
I love
always.
it. That is
Mhm.
wonderful. That is wonderful. Well, I am going to wrap this up. My name is
Yeah,
Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug, and I just plugged you into Dr. Carrie Graham. So get her book at the link that I've put in the chat. Wherever you're watching this, you can see her link in comments and reach out to her. Her contact
yeah,
information is attached as well. And thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. Thank you, Dr. Graham, for your yes, for coming on the show and talking about your book, When Operations Meets People. And thank you. Much success, much success. We'll be here next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Business Plugs Mixer. And so I hope everybody have a great week. Good night,
yes.
everyone.
Good night.